Nice. Okay. The top to toe, pick me up. You don't need to have kit by you straight away. But if you wanted to, we might not use any kit, but if you wanted to have it on the basis that you don't want to have to move once you're up, it never hurts to have your strap, a cushion, maybe resistance band, and maybe a blanket to hand. Whenever we do a relaxing session or something restful, that can be a great deal of help to have it nearby, but you don't need to. So just making sure that you're comfortable in Shavasana, you're comfortable lying down position. Remember, you can have your legs stretched out ahead of you with your feet allowed to just flop out to the sides, or you can have your knees bent in any comfortable position. Just making sure that your lower back feels relaxed and there's no tightening up. You can also ensure that you give yourself permission to change your position and do anything you need to feel comfortable from the beginning of the session all the way through to the end. There's no obligation to stick to any kind of rules. You just need to feel good or try to feel as comfortable as you can. So just checking in that your low back is comfortable, that your legs are comfortable and relaxed. Let your arms rest down by your sides a little way away from your body with the palms facing upwards, just so that your shoulders relax. Of course, if you would rather have your hands on your belly, then you're more than welcome to rest them somewhere on your person, if that feels nice. And all you're going to do is soften here, allow your eyes to softly close if you're comfortable to do that too. And start to bring your focus towards, if you want to, how you're feeling in this moment. And it's all with no judgment, just noticing whatever you feel, whatever's here. Take a moment to check in and notice if your mind has become very involved with one particular thought or feeling. And just if it has, bring your focus wider and back to a general sense of how you're feeling right now. Again, if that's not comfortable, then you don't need to do that. You can just rest yourself and be wherever you need to be mentally. But the idea is just to have an overview of any thoughts, emotions, sensations that are with you, and just to allow them to be here and to come and go, but for you to sort of pay enough attention to them that they don't start shouting for your attention. So in a way, just by acknowledging whatever feelings you're having, I'm tired, I feel tense, or I feel restful, or I feel busy, or I feel quiet. Just by acknowledging them, it kind of takes the teeth out of whatever you're experiencing. You can just sort of say, yeah, I do feel stressed and noisy and tense. And that's true for me, and that's okay, you know. So allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, but not to get too involved with it, just to acknowledge it and accept that that's how things are. By doing that, you sort of open the gates to letting them pass. Okay, so if you're ready to, let's just shift the focus towards something more solid and neutral. So just bringing your focus towards the feeling of the ground beneath the body, your body. Have a sense of the solidity and the firmness of the ground that you're lying on and the surface that you're lying on. And your ability to trust that if you were to allow all of the tension to move away from your body, the ground can carry you quite securely and quite firmly, and that you've set aside this time to be here. So it's actually safe for you to just let go of some of that physical tension, just a little bit at a time, and let the ground come up to meet you. So you can be heavy. You can let everything go and rest down onto this solid earth. It's a little easier to do it when you're lying on the floor because the floor is huge and strong. So as you continue to lie here and breathe with whatever is here with you, start to notice the parts of your body that are in contact with the ground and let the ground hold those parts of your body. You can do that by scanning your way up from your feet, or you can just pick your favorite body part and let it become as heavy as humanly possible and let the ground do the work. And just for a few moments, we're going to switch that focus. And you can stay with your focus on the ground if you wish to. But if it's interesting for you, you can now start to become aware of the feeling of the spaces between your body and the ground, or your body in itself. So just start to become aware of the parts of your body where you're arching up and away from the floor, and explore that space, the softness, the spaciousness between your body and the ground, that lightness. It could be backs of your knees, arch of your lower back, somewhere the back of your neck, behind your shoulders, wherever it is for you. We're all slightly different. Place your attention in that gap, the space. Savor, if you can, that space. And if you manage to find a space to place your attention, or several spaces, see if you can keep that idea of the space in your mind, the space between your body. And let's hold that mentally as you move your attention towards your breath, the feeling of breathing. And as you breathe in and breathe out, find that kind of space in your breath. Breathing in, breathing into space as you expand, creating space in your body. And as you breathe out, feeling the softness of releasing into space and creating a feeling of spaciousness rather than opening up into space. So explore the idea of spaciousness and breathing. There's no rules. It's just holding that idea of space and using your breath to create the feeling of space in your body as best you can. And you're going to do it, just stay relaxed. Breathe in deeply, find space. Breathe out, long and slow, create space. If you're happy to stay here and rest and be still, then you should take the time to do that. But when you're ready to start moving, just going to start with very small movements. And I'd like you to literally just synchronize with your breath, whatever your breath pace is, your breathing pace is. Just really softly turning your head to the right as you exhale. Inhale as you slowly bring your head to center, and exhale as you turn your head to the left. And just keep the movement going. By moving so slowly, you're going to avoid moving into any tension because you have time to notice if your body starts to resist a movement. And when that happens, you listen and trust your body and stay out of tension. So you want to keep all of your movements in sympathy with what your body's asking you, and very, therefore, nourishing and much more calming. You're just going to avoid going into any kind of strain or resistance. Really nice. So if this is feeling quite nice, you can continue it. We're going to add wipers to the movement because you can keep this neck movement flowing with your legs. So when you're ready to, you can just bend your knees and bring your feet as wide as your mat and far away from your body. Think about space. And add the movement of your knees, gently lowering in the opposite direction to your head as you exhale, and then inhaling to smoothly come to center and exhaling over to the other direction. And this is a simple movement. Wipers does more for some people than others, but the thing that's key here is the breath, synchronized movement, the calmness and the total lack of any strain, just total comfort. Inhaling smoothly through center, exhaling, head and knees turning away from each other and moving slowly enough that you have time to avoid moving into strain, tension, or discomfort. And ultimately using this movement to quiet your nervous system and to keep your breaths nice and long and your movements really, really simple and comfortable. As you move, just check that your face is relaxed, that your jaw's relaxed. There's no tension in this movement at all. So no need to concentrate even particularly. Just enjoy the feeling of the ground supporting your body and the lightness of the movement. And you can keep it moving if it feels good, but I'm just going to invite you to take a held posture if that feels right for you. You can let your knees lower to the right, turn your head to the left, allow your body to hang and soften down here. And if you find that you're actually feeling quite loose in your joints, you can just bring your right foot to rest on your left thigh and deepen this. But what we don't want is to deepen to an extent that it starts to create any pulling in. So if that just feels a bit too strong of a stretch, let it go and just hang out with your knees resting on or moving towards the floor. And as you continue to rest here, come back to that feeling of exhaling to create space and inhaling to move into the space. I'm going to take one more really long breath here and then move over to the other side. You can take as long as you need in this posture. Good. So when you're ready to, if you're ready to, untangle your legs, carefully come up to center. And whenever I hold a twist for any length of time, I always re-square my spine and my hips because things do tend to go a bit squiffy. Come back to center and then fidget and lower myself in the other direction, knees to the left, head turns to the right potentially, and then check in, see how it feels. The second side sometimes feels a bit more comfortable than the first. And if you manage to find a comfortable place, you have the option to put your left foot on your right thigh. If it feels too tight again, or if there's any feeling of clenching as a result of that movement, then don't bother with it. Just breathe. I'm looking for about either 3 really long breaths or 5 to 6 natural breaths in each of these postures. And when you're ready, if you're ready, gently untangle yourself if you need to, and then carefully walk your feet back to center. From here, we're going to move into rolling bridges. We're going to keep them relaxed. So the aim is not to go up higher and introduce any tension. I'm going to keep my feet and knees wide, but I'm just going to make sure that my knees are lined up with my feet. And still working with the breath, very, very relaxed, just gently pressing into feet and exhaling to roll a very small pelvic curl just to massage out the low back first. Inhaling all the way in the other direction so that my tailbone points into the floor and my low back lifts. And this is just the movement to start with. Rolling tailbone up, rolling tailbone down. Work intuitively with the breath, actually. Yoga bridges, quite often the inhale rolls you up and the exhale rolls you down. But because we normally work with the exhale, I think you'll find it more comfortable and more intuitive to use your exhale to pull you up. It will work better, but you do what feels right for you. I'm still just moving through these really nice, soft and very massaging pelvic curls. There's no engagement. I'm really not actively engaging through pelvic floor or hips or anything. It happens because it happens, but it's not happening because I'm doing anything. And then if you want to, you can start to travel these very gently up your back. And I want you to keep your body heavy so you can feel the sense of the flesh being massaged out, the flesh of your back being massaged out by the floor, and use your feet to hold you. And then when you're ready to roll down, roll down. And again, use the breath the way you need to use it. I'm keeping these movements long, sinuous, and trying to keep my body quite heavy against the floor so that I really get the benefit of the hard floor pressing into the muscles and the tissues of my back. I'm not going very high. I'm going up my back, but I'm not lifting my hips very high because I just can't be bothered. The aim is to just enjoy rolling against the floor rather than stretching into the hips or the glutes or anything like that. If as you move through these, you get to a point where you feel like, God, I'm just knackered anyway, just stop or reduce the movement back down to the little tiny pelvic curls. That's fine. But if you roll and you're like, oh, I found a really juicy bit of my back that really likes this, then you can pause in that space and wiggle around against it, just rolling your weight against the floor. You don't have to be even or symmetrical. Work with what you need. And when you've had enough of this movement, I think I'm enjoying this, but I think one more bridge is going to be enough for me. When you have had enough of this movement, we're going to come down and go into reclining, the hip compression. So you can keep your left leg bent if you want, but it might feel nicer to stretch it out. Just pull your right knee in towards your chest. Use your hand or use a strap if you prefer a strap. Lengthen out your left leg. Let your left leg stay on the floor. I'm gonna pull my right knee more towards my armpit because I just want that deeper hip stretch, but you can keep yours in if you want. And I'm going to circle my right foot. But again, you don't have to do anything other than hang out here if you want to. If you're feeling really tight and tense in your shoulders, using a strap around your shin will help you keep your shoulders down more. And I'm really not rushing into any of these movements. I just want to feel that my body has a chance to enjoy resting and stretching. No tension, no effort. Good stuff. And I can't ever do this hip compression stretch without going into the equivalent twist. So ever so carefully bringing the right knee all the way across to the left. My right arm's going out to the side. And I'm just going to allow my hips to roll to wherever is comfortable. I'm moving really slowly because I just want my body to have time to take in this movement. And my right foot is resting on the floor over to the left, but my knee's off the floor because I can't get that far. And also just quite a juicy little stretch along my lower back and the back of my hips. So it's a pigeon twist. If you're feeling like you need it, you can straighten out the right leg. Sometimes it just makes the whole movement tighten up. Sometimes it feels good. So you can judge what feels right for you. You can do a bit of both if you've got room, but it's not required for straightening. It does pay to keep both shoulders near to, if not on the floor for this one. Your chest wants to continue to face the ceiling. One more breath here. Be here longer if you need to. We're going to take this straight into the pigeon, reclining pigeon, right ankle over left. So when you're ready to come in, come all the way back to center. Keep your right knee in towards your chest. Bend your left knee to the floor, and then right ankle over left thigh, and we're ready to go. Just work this as you need to. Right ankle over left thigh, and you're pulling your left leg in towards your chest. Do you know, let's take the left leg up towards the ceiling and start to circle the left ankle. If you'd rather not, you don't have to. But it's just going to start warming into that left leg for when we switch sides. So you take your time. It's going to also start getting into the hamstrings. When you're ready, we can turn the foot in the opposite direction. So really nice to just spend some time with these stretches. Normally we'd be neck deep in Pilates by now. Or something's harder than Pilates even. Okay, when you're ready, let's bring the left leg down. Arms go out wide and we're going to switch legs. So stretch your right leg along the floor and pull your left knee in towards your chest. Take it where it feels good. You can start with the knee in centered. Just allow that to settle into your body. And then as it settles, you can start to take your knee more and more out to the left and gently, gently start to just maybe, if you want to circle your left foot still, you can, but you have just done them. So you don't have to. It's whether you want to sort of get into those joints and have a little bit of a fidget, feel like you're nourishing your body. That's all that matters. Lovely stuff. Be here as long as you need to. When you're ready, ever so lightly, carefully and slowly take your knee. Use your right hand to pull your left leg across to the right. Keep your shoulders on the floor. Don't worry about going the whole way. Let your hips roll. And once you're there, if it works for you, just hang out. This side feels much, much tighter for me. But, you know, you're just doing whatever feels all right for you. If this doesn't feel good, you can do any kind of a twist to the right. So you could have both of your knees bent and over. And again, if you want to experiment with straightening your leg, you can. I think it's going to feel really bad for me today. Everything is a little gnarly. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to take one more breath here. Again, be here as long as you need to. It's actually releasing a little bit around here for me, but one more breath will be enough. And when you're ready, we're going to bring these in. Coming back to center, keeping your left knee in towards your chest. Just bend your right knee to the floor, left ankle over right thigh, and carefully, slowly pull yourself into reclining pigeon. Right thigh coming in, hands behind your thigh or shin. And then if you want, it would be worth, since we did the other side, extend the right leg. And you can, you know, you can fidget with your right ankle. If you're feeling super tight, flexing, extending in circles will really work into your calves and your ankles in a really useful way. So sometimes fidgeting is to quiet your mind and keep it busy. And sometimes it actually does serve a good purpose. In fact, we know the science of movement has shown that the general fidgeting is really, really healthy for your body. So it's not a problem. Lovely. Okay, when you're ready, this can come down, right leg down, and we're just gonna do a banana stretch. So lengthen your legs out. If you're not ready for banana stretches, always feel quite strong. So if you're not ready for one, don't bother with it. Right ankle over left, right wrist up behind you, right wrist in left hand, and just wiggle yourself over to the left. And then wiggle your upper body over to the left and then lower body over to the left. Don't go too deep into this. You don't want to stretch so deeply that you squash everything up and it all just gets really gnarly. It wants to feel long and delicious. I always think banana stretches feel delicious when they're just right. Brilliant. When you're ready, let's shuffle this in and go over to the other side. And just start to notice how you're feeling, your head, your mind, your body. A couple of breaths here. We're going to bring this up to seated. When you're ready, shuffle yourself to center. I said we're bringing it to seated. We're actually going to bring it to all fours. So just bend your knees, roll yourself over onto your right-hand side. And we're going to come straight to all fours for cats and cows. I would really like you can do your cats and cows seated if you would prefer. But I'd like you to make sure your cats and cows feel good. So we're not looking for any special levels of engagement or anything like that. We just want to get a little bit more soft and active movement through your spine. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips-ish. If you need space for your body, I'm going to go wider. Wider knees, wider hands, bigger base, hands further forward. Make a lot of room for myself. And just start to roll through some nice and big cats and cows. You know, it's force of habit to say hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and that is how we normally work. But if you need more space, take it. Didn't feel good to have my hands wide, so I've brought those back in, but my knees feel better being a bit wide, actually. I'm getting a bit better stretch to the fronts of my hips. Let's just do a couple more of these. Lovely. And I'm going to take this up into a big downward facing dog, just for the sake of some stretching and pedaling through the legs. So if you would like to, toes can tuck. I'm just going to lift my hips up high, and I'm going to take my feet a bit wider than I normally would, and my hands a bit wider and a bit further away. And from there, pedal, and I'm looking for that good stretch. I'm not too fussed about doing a perfect downward dog. I'm not interested in finding any strength or power. I'm just looking for the best stretch I can get. And this is going to, in the end, bring you back to the floor, actually. So when you've had enough of it, so the pedaling, I could be here all day pedaling because my calves are really tight. But we don't need to be here all day. Rome wasn't built in a day. You're not going to get rid of all your tension in one go. When you're ready, bring your knees back down. And just walk yourself forward till you're lying on your front. And we're going to take seal pose for the back bend, because I want to keep the movements big. So my original plan was baby camel, but I actually think baby camel is quite a small and compressed movement. So when you're ready to, front lying, there's no rush. Arms are gonna, so any version of any sort of nice broad back bend will do. I'm going to take my legs quite wide and take my arms quite wide with the fingers out. Shoulders are going to roll out first. I'm just going to slowly peel my chest up and lengthen up. Just find something that feels divine. Really nice. And you have the option then to either stay here and just enjoy it, or lower down and lift up a few times. I do like to lower and lift a few times because I find I can just get a bit more of an even stretch if I do. But you can also just rest, have one go. I always look for slightly different qualities each time I move. Lovely. And then when you've had your third one, unless you want more, I think usually when there's fatigue around, a few back bends is plenty. You're going to bring your hands under your shoulders and scooch yourself back to child's pose. We're going to go knees wide, toes together. And I'm not sinking deep. I'm just going to lengthen my hips back and stretch my spine out and just really savor child's pose for the active but supported stretch that it is, the feeling of lengthening through the spine, pulling those hips back. And of course, we can't be in child's pose without taking the side bend, which you could skip this if you were like, well, I think I've had enough side bends, thanks, but I like them. So just walk my hands to the right, and I'm actually going to take my left hand over the top of my right hand because I want a deeper stretch, but you don't have to. You just pull the hips back. And here specifically, I start by looking for space between each of my ribs from my armpit down to the base of my rib cage. And after that, I look for space between my rib cage, the base of my rib, and my hip. And by looking for that space, I always find a lovely sensation. And when you're ready, I'll be here as long as you want. When you're ready, you're going to center and then over to the other side. I try not to walk my hands too far because I don't want my shortened side. So when my hands are to the left, I don't want the left side to feel super squashed up. I want that side to feel neutral and the other side to feel lengthened. So same thing. Take a little time. One side often feels very different than the other. Fantastic. Let's bring this in. And from center, I'm going to just walk your hands in until you're in a seated position. And just I'm going to swivel my feet around so that I'm sitting. I'm going to sit on a cushion because I don't want to have to work at all. So just taking a moment once you come to a seat to feel relaxed and supported with a tall spine. You can sit in any position. Good. When you sit tall, hands, I'm going to be in cross legs. I'm going to have my right foot in front, and we're just going to take the this nice seated sequence to close the session. It's a full seated sequence. So we're just going to start with I like the hip rolls. So I'm going to imagine that my whole body is a giant pestle and mortar. The hips are a bowl. My upper body is the pestle. And I'm just going to roll around. I do this just because I find it quite soothing. Actually, the work that we've done in the session, as slow as controlled as it was, my hips don't really feel tight anymore, but it still feels nice to do. If you wanted to bring this movement up higher, you could focus more on circling your ribs or your chest or leading with your navel for more core control. I just want to stretch, that's all. Good. And I'm just going to take this circling in the opposite direction. Just for about 5 circles. Good. And then when you come back to center, fingertips to the floor just behind you, roll the shoulders back and the fingertips back. Take a deep breath in as you lift your heart and lift your chin. And then if you want to, you can pull your hips up for the back bend. It's not a requirement, but you can. And then lower down carefully. You'll take your right leg out to the right. And we're just going to fold on the inside of the right leg. So nothing more than that. Start tall, walk your hands forward, hinging from your hips. And then once you've gone as far as you can, fully relax your head and shoulders and allow your upper body to sort of hang down on the inside of your right leg. I like to keep my right leg active so that it gets a little bit of length through the back, but you don't have to if you're like, active is not my bag today. This is an adapted half pancake right here. So it's adapted because it's not really a pancake. It's more yin than a pancake. A bit more soft, a bit more about breath. Good. I'm going to walk the hands back in and take this into Lord of the Fishes. So your right leg is coming up and over your left leg. You might have to swivel yourself around. You stay nice and tall. Don't create tension with these stretches. So left hand's just going to hug your right knee gently. Right hand lightly behind you. Grow tall. And as you exhale, gently turn your chest. And what we don't want to do is introduce tension into the body. So your twist is going to be small and controlled, and you're not trying to hoik or lever yourself around. You should be able to hold the twist comfortably and easily without your hands doing anything. So just be fairly loosely twisted. Good. And now we're just going to roll this back through center and literally just switch your legs over so that you can go into Lord of the Fishes on the other side. So don't want to hold Lord of the Fishes for ages because it can start to feel tense. Right leg, left leg over your right, left hand behind you, gently and tall as you roll into your twist to the left. Breathing. Remembering you should be able to do this without your arms and still feel really relaxed and not at all tense or having to work. Lovely stuff. And then when you're ready, let's unravel to center, and you're going to take your left leg out to the side for your adapted pancake on the other side. The left leg stretched out, toes up. Turn yourself in and walk yourself forward. And allow your shoulders to fully relax, your head to bow and fully relax. You're just using the weight of your body to lengthen yourself down and put some weight through the left leg and drawing away from the right hip. And at this point, these are maintenance stretches. You don't need to be here for ages, but you can if you want. Fantastic. When you're ready, let's raise up. Lead with your heart, walk yourself in. And we're coming to cross-legged in the other direction. So left foot in front, right foot behind. We're just going to take the back bend in a forward fold and we'll be finished. So fingertips behind you, open up, lift your heart, optional to pick up the hips. It's really just a choice. When you're ready, lower it back down. Now walk your hands in front of you and just gently walk them forward. You could be in butterfly if you prefer butterfly, or diamond pose, the soles of the feet together. Just whatever feels okay for you. Don't let your shoulders get tight when you fold forward. Just want to feel rounded and take this last few moments to breathe. Good. I'm going to walk this in and just bring your hands by your sides, palms facing forwards, and we'll finish with one sun breath. So just take a deep breath in, circle your arms up, palms together, hands to heart, and let it all go. Nicely done. I hope that did the trick.